Good morning, USA. Welcome to another episode of the Bernie or Bust Show. Got some good coffee? Hope you do too. Take a slurp and let's get started. So, Bernie Sanders unveils plan to overhaul country's dysfunctional criminal justice system. Okay, I don't know where you are in life. I don't know what goes right to the front of your radar system. What makes you pay attention? Donald Trump's tweets, maybe, or something that CNN or MSNBC would deem newsworthy or would deem safe enough to put in front of us and keep us simmering in our frog pot. But this is a big deal. This plan to overhaul the country's dysfunctional criminal justice system. And it's a bigger deal depending on your walk in life. This is a CNN article. I thought I'd start with the watered down, safe for human consumption, safe for the masses to consume version. Democratic presidential candidate Senator Bernie Sanders unveiled Sunday a criminal justice overhaul to reform every aspect of America's dysfunctional criminal justice system. They put that in quotes, so don't get too excited that they agree. By ending for-profit greed, again, they put that in quotes, in the system, expanding inmates' rights, and changing how policing works in the country. According to the plan, if elected President, Sanders, who has long campaigned on ending for-profit prisons, would ban cash bail and civil asset forfeiture, as well as increase the number of public defenders and funding for them to better serve certain communities, according to the plan. He would also enact a prisoner bill of rights for incarcerated people that includes rights to living wages and educational training, as well as the right to vote. So we've got here a sweeping and comprehensive plan, and very much needed. And now we're going to see what media. That's my twist on this. I'm going to show you other people's thoughts on this reform plan, but for me, going through, I'm going to make the case that Kyle Kulinski makes, that you're not going to hear about this through mainstream media outlets very much. And so I started with CNN, gave them a shot. I'll put this in the information section. You can check it out. Now let's jump to Tim Black and what he thinks about it.
This is what we need to get behind.
Okay.
It is the most comprehensive, deep dive into reforming our broken system. Or, depending on how you look at it, our well-tuned system that's heavily stacked against poor people, black people in particular, Latinos, Native Americans.
I've witnessed that in person. I've seen him walk in, and every time I just fall apart. Every time I just get all emotional, just watching him. Grumpy old man from Vermont, from New York City, and he walks up in front of the people, and I'm mesmerized every time.
And the folks that we have in jail are disproportionately poor, disproportionately minority, African American, Latino, Native American. We spend, and I want everybody to hear this, $80 billion a year of taxpayers' money at the local, state, and federal level to lock up fellow Americans. $80 billion a year. And we end up with more people in jail than any other country on earth. So let me start off this discussion and lay it out to the panel, and I want all of you to be thinking about it. Might it not be a better idea to start taking some of that $80 billion spent to lock people up and maybe, just maybe, start investing in our young people investing in good education for our kids, investing in job training for our kids so they don't end up in jail in the first place.
That's what I like about it. Kyle Kalinske, we're going to go to him next. He talks about agreeing with 95% of it. I think his problem is that he's not sure that murderers on death row should be able to vote. I do. I think everyone should be able to vote, but otherwise he's quite happy with it. He has a good summary of it, so I'll let him just go through that, and we'll go back to Tim.
And it's so incredibly bold that I have no choice but to support it. So let's go through it here. First and foremost, end cash bail and civil asset forfeiture. Let me breeze through it and then we'll go back and talk about them. Ban for-profit prisons. Increase the number of public defenders and funding to better serve certain communities. Provide more support for law enforcement and unarmed non-law enforcement as an alternative response system for mental health emergencies. Ban the use of facial recognition software in policing. Conduct a U.S. Attorney General's investigation whenever someone is killed in police custody. Create a prisoner bill of rights for incarcerated people that would end solitary confinement and guarantee living wages, educational training, and the right to vote. End mandatory sentencing minimums and 3 strikes laws. Abolish the death penalty. Legalize marijuana. Stop the criminalization of homelessness and spend more than $25 billion over 5 years to end homelessness. And overall, ultimately, the goal is to reduce the prison population by about 50%. So it's...
And to me, and I want to add, end the for-profit prisons, to end the prison industrial complex. There is so much money being made. I went through the whole video with Tim, over an hour, where he read the whole thing. He just read it out loud to us. Oh, my sister's birthday is tomorrow. And so when you read through the whole thing, line by line, and you also get to hear Tim read it, which he has so much invested as an African-American man. He feels... He gets emotional as he reads it, and you can feel the emotions from his perspective as he reads it. And then you understand what this really means and what it really could mean if we can just get the word out. Because, make no mistake, the prison industrial complex is ugly. It's exploitative, and he can't help but mention Kamala Harris a few times as he's reading it, because she's in the biggest state. She's in California, and as you go through, what has been happening on her watch. She's been one of the big perpetrators of the ugliness that Bernie's trying to dismantle. Yeah. All right, I may let Tim have the last word. Maybe we'll go here to Kyle again, what he's saying in summary of this.
But either way, minor disagreements I have with Bernie here and there, they're largely irrelevant because I agree with like 95% of the plan, and it is honestly almost the perfect plan. Is this something that's going to get a lot of media attention? No. Because they don't care about policy substance. They don't care about specifics. They don't care about things that would actually fix the country.
And they don't have any desire for their money train to go off the tracks. And this is a money train, and the money is connected to CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, all the other corporate news centers. So they're not going to talk about anything that makes their masters upset. And it's the same masters that profit on war, that profit on policing, that profit on prisons, that profit on pharmaceuticals, on food companies that also make pesticides that cause cancer, and they also make things that treat cancer. Not mentioning names, Monsanto, but we've got evil, and it's all connected, and it's not that many people. The few people who run everything are at the top, and they own the media. So getting the word out around them, the blockade, is tough. I was just watching. I was not gonna get to this till tomorrow, but I was just watching a YouTuber say anytime that he puts anything up about this blockade, every single time he gets demonetized. Those particular videos that he uploads to YouTube, every time he's critical of the blockade, the media blockade, those videos are demonetized, and he's trying to make a living that way. So this is really ugly.
This is not like a sexy story of like one of Donald Trump's tweets, so it's not going to get that much press. But that's why you guys are here, because it's your job to spread the word, just get the information out there as much as humanly possible, because this is stuff that changes people's minds and makes them want to vote for somebody like Bernie, and they just need to hear about it. You just need to give people that option and let them know that this is on the menu, this is on the table. So once they know that, that's when he starts gaining more and more support. So spread the word, let everybody know that he's swinging for the fences and he's doing a really good job, and this is an awesome plan. So America's Dad, Bernie's...
America's Dad. And here's Tim.
It is actual criminal justice reform because it wraps around and looks at everything from what makes a person resort to crime through a person being released out of the system and what keeps them from coming back to that type of life. How we can prevent it, how we can give support, how we can help while, how we can restore rights while, take away the incentives for jailing people. It's phenomenal, guys. This is amazing. I know that people are very skeptical of Bernie Sanders, and I see it all the time. I don't truly believe that every person I see who's so critical of Bernie Sanders knows about really what he's offering or what his plans are. Not what he's offering, like here you go, but what the plans are if he is to become president. I don't see this type of comprehensive plan from any other candidate.
Right. That's the point. I love the part about schools. There's a whole lot about how schools operate, how schools can be a pipeline into the prison system. And I've always had that as my main thrust in life, is to help public schools do a better job. And that's why I'm a music teacher. I think music and the arts help kids as much as anything else they can learn in school. And so I think I would love to chat with Tim about that and with Bernie about that, about the arts too, not just about making schools more humane and better prepared for every aspect of life. And because I've worked in inner city schools, the disparity between the schools that we have, if we could solve the school problem, we would make a huge dent in the prison problem. And Tim mentions that if you go through the whole video with him, and Bernie talks about it all the time too, and that's why my whole life has been aimed at people who think this way and who could actually get enough traction. I'm getting up there in years, and I'm starting to feel the burn, not in a good way, the burnout. I'm starting to feel like maybe this isn't possible. Maybe our society will always be corrupt. Maybe our society will always resist beauty and joy and love and caring about each other and making a system that works for everyone. But then I get sparked again. I get hope. I get a little passion going, a little zeal, and that's how I felt when I saw the plan, and especially Tim's reaction to the plan. I hope we can just keep going in this direction. So, feel the burn.